Live, this is One for the Record. I'm Diana, and today is May 28th, 2013, and here are your news updates for today. We'll first go to the Extinction Protocol 2012 and beyond. Train collides with big rig and derails with explosion flames near Baltimore, Maryland. Alright, a lot of stuff happened around Maryland. There's a fire with a Royal Caribbean that left from there. There was another boat that had caught fire and exploded there. Now you have trains doing things over there. Alright, moving on. Game changer. Russia to sell one of the world's most advanced anti-aircraft systems to Syria. Israel warns of consequences. Also, French man dies of new coronavirus after trip to Dubai. Also, drug-resistant and new China bird flu raises concern. Also, magnitude 7.0 earthquake gently rocks Wellington, New Zealand. I don't think that's very gentle. Alright, moving on. Let's get rid of that one. Let's go into the watchers watching the world. New tropical disturbances form in eastern Pacific. Hubble reveals ring nebulas, intruding details. Also, intense seismic swarm at Kahu volcano, Chile. Alert level raised to red. Alright, get out of there. U.S. weather satellite GOES 13 fails few days before start of Atlantic hurricane season. Heads up, they can't see what's going on. Always check your skies. Landsat's thermal sensor illuminates from volcanic heat. Alright, so be aware that the Doppler, or whatever that is down right now. GOES 13 is down, which is the one that tells you all about what directions and things about the hurricanes. Alright, maybe they'll do a visual from the ISS. That's what I think. How's that one? That's my suggestion. Just start doing visuals. Alright, let's see here. Moving on. Okay. E&E News, the energy news. Let's go first into Fukushima, Japan. I am going to load Dr. Deagle's NUTIMEDICAL report. Hopefully we'll have time for that. If not, I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, today's source. Very interesting mystery black substance in Fukushima. Beta particles 2 and tends to be only cesium-134 and 137. Alright, let's check the U.S. Canada. That's the only thing from Fukushima. Let's see if there's anything new about the sinkhole. Let's see here. U.S. Senator reveals truly shocking information about California nuclear plant. Restart of San Onofre reactor is now off the table. Also, TV, unbelievable. Officials made spoof video inside troubled California nuclear plant. So many safety hazards. Lieutenants, are you prepared to get us out of our current situation? Wow. Alrighty then, let's look at breaking news real quick. See if some kind of breaking news right now. Yes. Tornado warning for deaths. DEAF, Smith County in Texas until 7:30 p.m. Central time. This is coming out for the Weather Channel, so everyone in that county, Smith County in Texas, be aware, look to the skies and be ready for a tornado. Also, and that was posted 1 minute ago. Also, flash flood warning for Ottawa County, Kansas. Tornado warning continues until 7 p.m. Central Time. That's coming from Weather Underground. Also, 14 minutes ago, Amarillo, Texas reports of power lines, poles down, and roofs blown off by straight line winds via emergency management. That's coming off of the Weather Channel breaking news. Also, 20 minutes ago, someone posted a photo. Tornado near Bennington, Kansas. Alright, and that's coming off of Dr. OH014. Also, here we go, there's some more. A lot of breaking news with weather. Severe thunderstorm warning for Washington, D.C. and its adjoining suburbs until 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Amarillo, Texas reports of power lines down, roofs blown off by straight-line winds. Again. Still a rain-wrapped wedge tornado about 4 miles west of Bennington, Kansas. Spotters report it's not moving much at all. Alrighty then, so everyone check your weather, everybody check your local weather, look outside, be ready and prepared for anything. Let me take this off. Alright, talk to you later, be safe, be prepared for anything. Alright, take care, I'll see you again tomorrow on the flip.
Big ones. Recently in the area of the Arctic between Alaska and Russia, not too far from Japan, was a big one just yesterday of 6.0, but an 8+ earthquake that occurred 1,400 miles from Sendai, Japan. What's going on? Because international air traffic goes in the area. These are dangerously close to these fault line systems that can run into Japan, to Sendai, toward Oe, and toward the northern island, Mount Fuji. So the whole area is incredibly unstable since the last 2 and a bit years, March 2011. We've had a 500% increase in 5+0+ earthquakes in the area that makes the entire area completely unstable for nuclear reactors.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, we've got one up in California. It was a 5.7. It was close to the border with Nevada and Oregon, so it's nowhere close to the San Andreas Fault. But it has had 54 aftershocks in the last day.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's above 2.5. I mean, I didn't go down any lower than that. The earthquake count is at 224, and it is falling, so it looks like that 8 that happened over there west of Japan relieved the seismic stress, and I expect the earthquake count to go down. I don't expect any more large earthquakes, although we are coming up to a solstice on June 21st.
Do you think that might be a trigger for what's happening? Or was there alignment of planets or a plasma discharge from the sun? Because I know we've had some X-class flares. We just got hit by another one today. Is there a link with a plasma discharge of this X-class flare and this latest earthquake, this 8.2 that struck off of Russia, and then, of course, this 5.7 in California? Do you think there's a linkage there?
It could be. It's about at the same latitude.
Yeah.
But it would be hard to prove. Because one is on one side of the Ring of Fire and the other one's on the other side of the Ring of Fire. And this earthquake that's over here in California is nowhere close to the San Andreas Fault. In fact, it's not on any known fault lines. Yes,
you just wonder what's going on. Well, in other words, a lot of other variables there that we may not understand fully at all. So where are we going with all these earthquakes? I mean, in Japan, they still haven't turned off their other nuclear reactors. There's still some going. They've turned off a lot of them. But they're not getting rid of the nuclear waste and moving it off-site. They've got these open pits at Sendai.
Well, I have to tell you about Pilgrim in Massachusetts before we get into the Japanese, because this is a strange story. On let's see, where's the date and time? On the April 14th. So that was a month and a week ago. We went into, they had a manual scram. That means they deliberately shut down the reactor, and it was in hot shutdown. Now, we've talked about that before, and when you're in hot shutdown, that means that you're not going to do anything for at least 3 weeks, because you have to 3 days, because you have to let the neutron poison dissipate. And so then when they tried to figure out what happened, and it looks like what happened was that they lost what did they lose? They lost a component that had to go outside to another facility in order to be fixed. And in doing that, they are still not restarted. Every time they try to start, and I'm looking at these reports, these incident reports that the NRC is posting on their website. And the current operating mode is at startup, and it's been at startup for a month and a week, and they haven't any more scrams. It's just that they've had they had a fire at the turbine building, and they responded to that.
What you're basically saying, Ann, is that all of our equipment and all our reactors is falling apart because it's old and out of repair. I got a report 2 years ago.
This is a GE-3, yes.
Yeah, we had a report from south of Chicago of a reactor 2 years ago. This is 3 months after Fukushima, that they went up and did a security check to see what the state of the reactor was, and they took a steel brush to one of the main pipes coming out of the main reactor coolant system, and the brush, brushing the outside of the tube, broke right through the tube and lost containment just by taking a steel brush to the tube because it worn down to paper thin.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the kind of craziness that goes on, and people don't understand that we now have increased earthquakes all over the planet. We have extreme weather like this tornado that went through Moore, Oklahoma, and we're going to see more extreme weather. In fact, this is going to be, I'm going to predict this is going to be the year of the tornado. We're going to see air masses intersecting and doing weird things all over the United States, and someday, I don't know if it's this year, we're going to see literally, the natives call them dead man walking, where you see one twister walking past another, rotating around it, so it looks at a distance like it looks like a man walking, because you see the leg lifted up and the knee bending, and the tornado literally twisting around itself, because there's multiple vortices. That's where I see this going. Extreme weather, crop failures, populations in danger, and nuclear reactors literally in the crosshairs, because if you have enough extreme weather, eventually you're going to have breakdown of a major reactor, and population zones are going to get a giant plume of radiation downwind. It's going to get devastating, and people are not ready for an American Fukushima, but it's coming, isn't it?
Well, if I were up there in Massachusetts, I'd certainly want a radiation detector. Apparently, they found a defect, or they're calling it a potential defect in the relief valve bellows. And so they've got it over to the company that fixes those things. And I don't know what they're using as a substitute, but they haven't been able to get this thing started because every time they try to start it, something else breaks.
Well, the problem is they don't have parts on site. They're not doing enough testing, like x-raying every joint, every particle, every part of the reactors. I know it's necessary in gas plants, nuclear plants, pulp and paper mills. I used to do plant walkthroughs and would ask the engineers and ask a million questions because, of course, like the old story that my father taught me, if I ask you enough questions and I know what you know, I'll know more than you. And so when I do a plant walkthrough, I'd walk through and give them a great big typed report, and they say, oh my God, Deagle, you went through every engineering design, you realize how dangerous the plant is ready to blow up, like the Pekin Energy plant in central Illinois, so it's in Chicago. The fact is, we have the one in Pekin Energy. It's called Pekin Energy, second largest gas hall plant in America. What we have is in America, whether it's nuclear reactors like the one south of Chicago, I took care of employees, or these ones on the East Coast, or the ones down in New Madrid, we have old technology that's out of date. We have lack of engineering update. We have funny re-licensure procedures like they tried to pull off with San Onofre, where they try to get the plant back and up and running. And it puts people like Arnie Gunderson said, the restarting of that plant would be an experiment against 20 million Southern Californians.
Well, that's right. It makes you wonder who's in charge. We got a lot of Indians, chiefs, but I don't know that we have enough Indians. We need the worker bees there, and for some reason we don't have them there. Now, of course, you're dealing with old equipment, and the only people that know old equipment are old workers. I mean, workers that are seasoned workers.
Most of those guys are retired. Like this whistleblower was 22 years at the plant. He was freaked out that he said, even if they don't turn it on, it can go critical because it's still literally still circulating the steam turbine generators. By the way, the generators are new, but they're broken down because the tubes are hitting each other because of an engineering design, and they want to return it back on with 70% power. But this is just one example of the nuclear stupidity committee that's running all this stuff. The same thing goes on with Japan. Well, we had Chris Harris on yesterday, and he's been on over the last months. He did a major review for KEPCO for South Korea. They have the same style reactors as Japan. They just don't live in a high fault zone, but they do have extreme weather there. And they're totally freaked out by the fact that there's lots of new ways to have critical loss of control of your power, new ways for you to have hydrovolcanic explosions inside your plant even if it doesn't go critical. you know, we need to get rid of this old nuclear technology and bring in plasma fusion reactors. We need to get pebble bed reactors. We need to get the nuclear waste off